So we're going to kind of round up our hips. We've done sort of external, internal hip rotation. We're going to kind of round that up with it's going to be different. It's I've been doing some more training with a format. It's called MoveNat. It's like Move Navigation, and it involves kind of like natural movements of the body. You'll recognize a lot of them. We do a lot of them anyway. But you know, it's just kind of putting some focus on different movements. So yeah, going to be getting you crawling tonight. But we are going to be doing a sort of, it's not a test, so you don't have to do well or do badly, but we're just going to be doing a little exploration of whether your body favors internal hip rotation or external hip rotation. So it's just for your own kind of investigations. You don't have to, you know, push it to the limit and try and be the best. You just kind of acknowledge and learn a bit more about your body. So as always, we're going to start on semi-supine. If you need any supports underneath your head, that's all good. But the more I'm learning about hips, the more fascinating it becomes. So lots of connections to the hips and lots of opportunities for you in life to become imbalanced in your hips. Okay, Penny, I got your little chat there. That's okay. Just however you feel, just take it easy. So we're going to begin semi-supine, and you know, sort of things that we do regularly but accept as the norm. So feet in line. In fact, I'm even going to get you to go right back to basics. Walk the feet in so that the inner feet, the inner thighs and the ankles are touching. And then just do that test to make sure that your feet correctly come into hip distance. So keep the heels together, turn the feet out. So it's like you're going into a 10-2 position, you know, like a Charlie Chaplin. And then from there, pick up your heels, spread your knees away from each other and bring your heels in line with the balls of the feet, with the gap between the knees. So that's kind of your official hip distance. That's your personal hip distance position. Once you've done that, let's gently ease our hands onto our tummies or even the waist, whichever one you feel is most comfortable for you. And just begin with a couple of lovely deep exhales through the mouth. Big sighs. Noticing as the breath leaves the body, that belly dropping down towards the back of the spine. And then as you inhale, just being aware of the belly rising up into the hands. So just easing through the start of your practice with this focus on the natural movement of the breath within the body. Noticing how the spine moves, noticing how each breath feels. So gradually easing yourself into a deeper breathing pattern. Allowing the face to soften Making sure the tongue is just gently dropped at the base of the mouth. And then maybe gradually adding in that little bit of core effort. So as you breathe in, feel the expansion of the belly up into the hands. And as you breathe out, really allow yourself to start to complete the breath. So knitting the rib cage together, lifting the front pubis, really feeling the breath moving out of the body. And as you bring in that little bit of core to reach the breath out of the body, you may find that the breath into the body becomes a bit more expansive. So from here, if you're breathing out through the mouth, revert that to breathing out through the nose. In fact, you might even feel a little bit of play at the back of the throat, a little bit of ujjayi, as you feel the breath being expelled. And then as you increase this movement a little bit more, excuse me, take the focus into your pelvic tilt. So you'll already feel the back of the waist rising off the floor on the inhale. As you exhale, knit the ribs, lift the front pubis, lengthening the back of the waist, and then maybe just reaching into the feet. You might just feel a little bit of lift through the buttocks. Dropping the buttocks back on the inhale, feeling that feminine move in, and then as you exhale, easing into masculine. It's a very simple but effective move for the back. We're just going to take 2 more sets. And then from there, you're going to release the hands from the tummy on the next exhale. Slide the arms out to shoulder height and walk the feet, heel toeing the feet until they come into a wide 10 to 2 position. So if you're on a mat, heels of the body on the mat, balls of the feet off the mat. You know this really well. We're going to roll through the big toe side of the right foot, little toe side of the left foot, just to ease the legs to the left. Then we're going to breathe in, roll back through the feet, allowing the feet to be the driver of the move before inviting weight into the big toe side of the left foot, the little toe side of the right foot, and allowing the legs to slide to the right. So just building on this move gradually, just making sure that the move originates through the feet will move the legs will move the pelvis will move the spine, and you just might find that the head will just gently start to join in, easing itself away from your knees, so in the opposite direction to the knees. Try and be true to that sense of moving as one, as fluid as you can. And then the next time, whenever it is that you end up with your knees over to the left, whenever that is, you're just going to keep them there. Now from this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my head back in alignment to the sky, and I'm going to lengthen out with my right leg. That's a top leg. From here, I'm going to bring my right arm across the body, and I'm going to kick my right leg over to the left. So I'm going to end up on my left side. Then from there, I'm going to bring my arm and my leg back in alignment. And then I'm just going to ease the arm back out into a T shape and just move the leg a little bit further back from the midline. I'm going to do that a couple of times. So right arm, right leg, move out to the left. Then they go back in alignment and a little bit beyond. One more time. Now the next time that happens, you're going to bring that right leg forward. Now this time, you're going to see if you can pick up the heel of the right foot as you slide the heel towards the right sit bone. And then you're going to do that again. So right leg kicks forward. You might even be able to touch your left hand by now. And then as the leg slides back, can you pick up the ankle or the foot and start to bring the heel towards the sit bone? If you can't, don't worry. You could place the top of the toes on the floor to give you a bit more leverage to a quad stretch. And then release one more time, kick forward. And then this time as the leg goes into extension, bring it all the way back so the legs are back into 10 to 2 again. So we'll just change sides with that. So taking the right arm out to the side. So initially, you're going to extend the left leg and the left arm over to the right. And then ease them back. So you will be lifting that right leg, right knee a little bit. So the leg's going to kick over to the right, left leg, left arm. So you end up on your right side. And then you're going to ease the leg back, take the arm back. That's it. One more time like that. Just a bit of a variation on a theme. And then this time you're going to kick the left leg and the left arm forward. And if you can, as the leg goes back in line, can you reach for the left ankle? Now you could drop your toes down and use your left toes a little bit of leverage, or you could bring the left heel up towards the buttock. Kind of a semi-quad stretch. Okay, release that left foot, do that one more time. Stay leaning on your arm if that works for you. You could even bring the right hand underneath the head. And then from there, do one more kick forward and then ease it all the way back into the position that you started in. 10 to 2 with the feet, legs broad and wide. And then from there, just because it feels the right thing to do, just let's bring the knees back to the armpits, just to ease out into a bit of either knee to armpit position or even happy baby, whichever one you feel you're able to do. So just a little warm up. So now we're going to come and have a little look at our personal internal and external hip rotation. So both of these take place on the side, so it's quite handy. So what I'm going to get you to do is just to come onto your, ideally your left side where you can see me. Now you're going to need your brick for the first set. So I'm going to put the brick in between my knees and I'm going to have my legs at 90 degrees to my knees. And then I'm going to be on my left side, resting my head in the crook of the elbow, or if that's not comfortable for you, pop a blanket underneath the side of your head. Once you've got the brick in between the knees, or you could use anything else, you could use a cushion, absolutely fine, or another blanket. All you're going to do, make sure you've got that gap underneath the waist, in between the left side of the waist and the floor. And the first test is an internal hip rotation. So you're going to take the top leg, it's going to stay knee on the brick, and then you're going to lift just as far as is comfortable, your foot up to the sky, the lower leg and the foot. As you exhale, you're going to lower it down so the foot is parallel to the knee. So you're lifting and lowering. Just checking out that internal hip rotation. Now, obviously, you're not going to rock forward or back. You're going to keep that little bit of core connection, and it probably won't feel that you're doing very much. So just be careful with these. They sneak up on you. Okay, I want you to do another 2 on this side. That's it. Looking good. Good. Okay, so we'll stay with this side, undo the brick. We're going to take a little bit of external hip rotation now. So this one is not so familiar to me. So you're back on the side body, but you've got the gap underneath the waist. You're going to keep your left leg where it is, and you're going to take the right leg and lengthen it out. The right leg being your top leg when you're on your left side. Now from this move, you're going to keep the left knee on the floor, and you're going to inhale and lift the lower leg and the foot. And then you're going to lower. So you're inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. Now you can do this one. So you can either keep going like this, or if you feel that you're absolutely fine with that, you can do this one on your side elbow, which you might find is a little bit more challenging. You just got to be careful you don't roll backward with that top hip. So really make sure that that top hip's rolling forward and that you keep the leg at 90 degrees. Okay, so we're going to do 2 more. And then from there, I just want you to ease back and come onto your bottom and feet. So, just to check out how it feels, we're just going to do a few, I don't know which side to do these on, just going to do a few little rowing movements. So I'm going to dig my heels in. I could put my brick between my knees actually. Dig my heels in so my feet are flexed. And then I'm just going to take that rowing motion of easing forward with my oars and then easing back. I'm going forward with my oars and back. See? It's just to give you something that's completely different, to take your mind off those hip movements that we did. Okay, this time we're going to go do the reverse. So we're going to reverse the row. And that's it. 2 more. And then from there, we're going to attempt the opposite side. So I'm going to get to swing round. First movement, legs at 90 degrees. So this time you're on your right side. You're going to be resting the head into the crook of the elbow. And then you're going to place your brick in between the knees so that you have your left foot parallel to the right foot and hip distance apart. Also make sure you've got this gap underneath the waist, which shows that your hips are level, that your pelvis is level, and that you are not rolling forward or backward. And then when you're ready, you're going to activate the feet a little bit, breathe in, lift the top leg and the foot, of course. Keep the knee on the brick and then lower it back so it's at 90 degrees. And again, you don't have to push this. This is just for you to go, oh, well, that's interesting. I thought that hip would be not so free as that, or maybe Perhaps this hip's a little bit tighter. It's all about just getting more information. We'll probably have a little go at them at the end as well. Okay, do another 3. I'm just going to have a little look. Take care. Oh, Fiona's dog's going to come and show her how it's done now. Good. Okay, next time you're changing it. So you're going to take the brick out, you're going to keep the right leg where it is, but you're going to straighten the left leg along the mat with the foot on the floor. Again, you want to make sure you've got that gap underneath the right side waist. And then from here, the right knee stays on the floor. You're lifting the lower leg and the foot up to the sky and then lowering it down. The right knee is at 90 degrees to the hip and the right foot at 90 degrees to the knee. So just acknowledge which, if any of these, is a challenge. Maybe they're both quite simple. Maybe feeling blockages. And if there are blockages there, acknowledge them. Notice them. Try not to analyze them too much. Okay, take another 2 on this one. Remember, you can come onto the elbow if you want it to be a bit more challenging. You just got to be careful you don't roll back when you're on the elbow. Okay, now this time, as we finish off this movement, we're actually going to come onto our bottom again, swinging the legs around and coming to some of these interesting moves that I was talking about. So the first one you're going to recognize. The first one literally is a side-to-side rotation. So all I'm going to do is just like I did in the twist. I'm going to reach into my feet. I'm going to try not to use my hands if I can. I'm just going to roll off to the left and turn around. Then I'm going to ease back to the center. Roll off to the right. Turn around. Just noticing which of my legs or which of my hip is very willing to do this and which are not so willing. And does it get any easier? The downside is you will move forward on your mat. So just make sure that you don't spin off into the ether. Now the next time you move your legs to the left, just take your hands outside of that left thigh and maybe slide the elbows to the floor. So you've got a little bitty twist type movement coming in there. It's quite nice. And it'll remind us of pigeon, which we are going to do tonight. So it's a little bit of sort of temporary pigeon. In fact, we call it deer pose. And then maybe, if you're still okay, you can bring your head onto your hands. But again, remember, if there's any pain there or it feels as though it's not working right, just stay on your elbows. Take a couple of breaths, press into the hands, come back onto the elbows, lift up the hands and then roll back to the center. You might have to do a little bit of twizzling. I'm just gonna twizzle myself back a little bit. So I'm bum walking. And then I'm going to go over to the right. I'm then going to place my hands in front of my right thigh. Again, I've got that option of coming onto my elbows, holding it there for a few breaths. And then if you're still feeling all right, bring the head onto the hands. still keeping those legs in that position and maybe just increasing that connection to the core. A couple of breaths. There, you're going to inhale, maybe come back onto your elbows first, lift up, bring the hands off the floor, spin your legs back to the center. So that's kind of like movement number one. Movement number two, we've almost got into, haven't we? So it's this kind of forward and back movement, walking on your bottom. Buttock walks. Remember, we used to do this at Katie Caves. Remember back in the day? Now you can reach. So you can reach with your arms. Yeah, you're doing it good. And then you can move back, still on your bum. One more time, reach forward. So this is a little set of basic natural movements. Okay, well done. Ease back to the center, give your legs a little shake. Next one, you're back on your hands, back on your feet, but this time what you're going to do is actually curve right the way around to cat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my right arm and my right leg. So I'm going to pick up my right foot, pick up my right arm, and then from there, I'm actually going to turn on my left knee, step my right foot to the floor, and try and come onto all fours, hands last. Okay, maybe I'll try and do that again for you. I'm just going to let Anne in. Maybe she thinks we're on 6:30. Okay, so I'll do it. I'll show you that again. So you've got your right arm and your right leg. You're going to try and push off your left leg, spin your right leg around, come onto the knees, and then onto the hands and knees. And then from there, you spin back off, taking that right leg off and come back to the center. Hi, Anne. Nice to see you. Okay, how did that go? Do you want to give me a quick demo? That's it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Got it. Do you want to try the other side? So left arm, left leg. Spin yourself around. Push off of that left foot and move yourself onto all fours. Yeah, and then push back, come back to the center. So again, it's just a case of which side feels more active. That's it. And then back to the center. Trying to use this little kind of momentum that you could actually move through it quite slowly. Yeah, hands last. So Anne, I know you're a little bit late joining us. What you could do is you could start with our first movement, which was just turning from side to side. We've just taken it up a level to turn it from side to side, and then we're going to turn it over onto all fours. Okay, so the next time you end up on all fours, so don't mind which way you go, you're going to come and we're going to do some stuff on all fours. So I'm just going to turn, twist, come onto all fours. If it's not working for you, then just come onto all fours any way you can. So on all fours, we're going to do sexy leopard, which is basically bottom in a figure of 8 and then over onto the shoulders. So you're making that figure of 8 movement across the bottom, over the shoulders. Good. Okay, and then you're going to change it in the opposite direction. I'm getting warm now. Lovely job. Now, I know it's going to sound really odd, but as you come back to centre, before we do our cat-cows, we're just going to have a little bit of a crawl. So apparently the latest thing in the fitness world is crawling. But it's a very specific kind of crawl. So you're just going to take opposite arm to leg. Yeah? So, sorry, same arm as leg, Jules, come on. So you're going to go forward with the arm and the leg, and then back with the arm and the leg. And then you can try alternates if you want. You can do alternate arm, leg. Just basically having a little crawl around your room. I hope you're not on too hard a floor. If you are on a hard floor, stay on your mat. And you could even just do a 1 knee forward crawl and a 1 knee backward crawl. Yeah, so all I'm doing is I'm taking my right knee forward and my left knee back. How's that going? Yeah, oh gosh, there's some great crawls there. Okay, I'm going to change left knee forward, right knee back. You never thought you'd be doing this. Okay, one more set. And then last one on all fours. And again, we've done it before, but I've never done it with the arm. So you're going to bring your legs together. And the idea is that you're taking your left hip to the left. But this time, as you bring your left outer hip to the floor, you're going to take your arms to the right. Is that making sense? Yeah. So left hip to the floor, arms to the right. Up off the floor. And then you can go up and overhead with the arms like that. And then you can bring right side hip to the floor, arms to the left. I like to see a good bit of going on. Okay, can you do 2 more sets? Again, if it's not right, just stay with cats. Otherwise, you're up and over. Up and over. Okay, I've got one more set. Up and over. Up and over. Good. Okay, easing back to the centre from here. Back to cat to join those people that are there. And then you're just going to walk the arms forward so that you come into a little bit of melting heart or up puppy. So forehead to the floor, bottom in line with the knees. That little lift up through the lower belly. And this is going to be part of our little vinyasa. So if you can get chest and chin down, please feel free to do that too. Have a little length out with the back of the thoracic, back of the shoulders. And then from there, you're just going to take the fingertips to the floor this time, bring the bottom back to the heels, and have that upper body extended. Just keeping the head down in between the inner arms. So stretching out the back of the shoulders, It's a bit like airport stretch, but you've got your bottom on your heels, or as close as you can. So from here, we're going to reach our hands down, tuck the toes under, come into that downward dog, bottom first. Thank goodness you're off your knees, I hear you cry. Have a little walk out with the dog. And then from there, soften into the knees, walk the feet forward towards the hands, flattening the back, and then exhaling, taking a lovely forward fold. Bringing the arms up behind, around the body and up and over the head. I will change my camera a little bit. Excuse me. So, new vinyasa. Let me have a little slurp of water. So, we're going to begin front of the mat. You recognize some of it. Soften into the knees and bring the hands into prayer. From here, as you exhale, you're going to keep the knees soft, bend the chin to the chest, send the fingertips up to the sky in an arrow above the head, and as you exhale, touch the back of the heart. Inhaling, take that arrow back overhead, this time gaze to the thumbs, and as you exhale, slide the hands in front of the body, clasping them behind the back before folding forward over those slightly bent knees. From there, you're going to bend the knees again, bring the fingertips to the floor, take the right leg back and just drop that right knee to the floor. That lovely sense of lifting. Now, you can release the toes or keep them tucked under your choice. And then reach the arms, and they're going to come wide. So they're going to come in like a T shape. So you're reaching through the fingertips. Should have a lovely stretch at the front of your right hip flexor. From there, you're going to bring the hands back either side of the front foot, and you're going to take the left knee to join the right knee. This time, just like you did, you're going to bring in melting heart position. Either forehead to the floor or chest to the floor. Hold it for a couple of moments. Don't forget to add in your little bit of core. And then from there, you're going to go all the way. So I'm just going to bring my hands together so that as I go all the way down to the floor, I can rest my head on the hands. From here, I'm just going to begin by just doing a little kick to the bottom. Just like that. One leg at a time. And then from there, now this is stage one, so remember you can always stay with this. Then from there, I'm going to release my hands to the center of the waist, elbows moving back, tummy lifting, lifting my body all the way to tuck my toes under and finish the little sequence into downward facing dog. From here, I'm going to take three-legged dog. Now, just because I love mixing it up a little bit, I'm going to get you to bend into your right knee and then turn that right leg out to the side, out to the right. So you are actually, turning the hip out, physically turning the hip out. And then from there, as you bring the leg back in, making sure that the knee's moving in line with the chest, you're going to bring the knee to the chest and then step the foot through between the hands, helping it through if it needs it. From that position, you're going to step the back foot forward to the front foot. Exhale, head to shin. Inhale, take the arms up and out to the side. Use those legs, gaze up towards the thumbs. And as you exhale, bring the hands in front of the heart. Okay, we'll speed it up a little bit. Chin to chest, exhale. Inhale, take the fingertips to the sky. touch the back of the heart. Exhale. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. And as you exhale, you're folding forward with a clasp of the hands behind the back, easing through the hips. You're inhaling, taking the fingertips either side of the feet, bringing the left leg back, and then dropping the knee to the floor. From there, you can keep the toes tucked under, or you can release the toes, invite the weight into the front foot, arms wide. Lovely. From there, feeling that sense, that lift up through the chest maybe. Bring the hands back at either side of the front foot, and then right knee comes next to left knee. Walk the hands forward. Melting heart, forehead or chin to the floor, pressing down with the tops of the toes. Now this time, if you can, we're going to commit the holy sin of bringing the hips down first. So you're going to roll forward. Can you go hips first, pelvis, and then forehead? Once you've come to that point, I'm going to get you to kick the legs to the bottom. You can stay kicking the legs, or you can attempt the next time the left heel comes towards the bottom to release the left hand and reach for the left foot. Your choice, stay kicking or do a quad stretch. Okay, we'll join the kicking, the heels to the bottom position, and then we'll change to the right. Reaching for the right foot with the right hand. From there, we'll release off fully. We'll bring the hands to the waist, elbows up, back you go, bottom to heels, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. A couple of breaths there. Maybe walking out with the heels, maybe not, your choice. And then from there, you're going to lift that left heel to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Bend the heel to the bottom, and then lift that left hip and knee out to the left. Spin that leg back in. Bring the knee to the chest as you roll forward in three-legged plank, and then step the foot through between the hands. From there, bring the feet together, head to shin, soften into the knees, swoop the arms up and out to the side, press the palms together, bring the hands down in front of the heart, and then step the leg wide so that you're facing me in a wide leg parallel foot position. So from here, we're going to take a little bit of the Chi Yoga. So we're going to breathe in, take the arms up, gaze towards the thumbs. As you exhale, draw the heels in and the palms out. Yeah, the wonderful dancing Shiva, reaching into the outside edges of the feet. Good job. Okay, breathing in, reach for the elbows. As you exhale, take the heels wide, fold forward. Once you're forward, I'll mirror you, bring your right hand down, take your left arm to the side and twist to the left. Changing sides, changing hands. You can also turn the feet to the right as you take the right arm up to the side. Easing it back to the center, gather the energy with the hands, press it to the heart, and then clasp the hands up to the sky. So the feet are parallel again. So you're going to do 3 drinking birds, which is like a wide leg forward fold with the arms behind. And then rocking horse, heels turned in, into your outer spirals, lift the insteps, knees in line with ankles. 2 more. Drinking bird, rocking horse. Good. One more time. Drinking bird, rocking horse. You remember? Okay, from there, turn the heels back to parallel, bring the hands to the heart. Let's do one more time. Inhale, gaze up to the thumbs. As you exhale, turn the heels in, press the arms out. Inhale, bring the fingertips to touch or hold on to the elbows. Exhale, hinging forward. Okay, this time, left hand down. Let's turn the feet to the left. Take the right arm out to the side and twist to the right. Changing sides. Bring the right hand down, turn the feet to the right, take the left arm out, twist to the right. Yay. Sorry, twist to the left, my mistake. Then from there, turn the feet parallel, gather the energy, bring it to the heart, clasp the hands up towards the ceiling. And then from there, 3 drinking birds to rocking horses. Now make sure you don't take the legs too wide. So you don't want to end up doing an Elvis. You want to make sure you're really grounded in the feet. Last one. Good. From there, we're going to put it all together. So you're going to turn back to step to the front of the mat. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Now, I am going to bring pigeon in, but it's up to you whether you do knee between the hands pigeon or this pigeon that moves the leg out to the side. Yeah? Let me just give you a quick demo while you're watching me. So when we come to this position, you can add, so you'll be doing this right leg lift, you'll be doing a twist in the hip, back to the center. Now you can either bring the knee between the hands, or you can take the right leg out to the left and slide the right knee to the wrist, yeah? You know the score. Keeping the hips and the pelvis level, maybe using the brick underneath the bottom. Okay. But we're going to build to it. So start in the front of the mat. Breathe in. As you exhale, bring the chin to the chest. Breathing in, send the arms up. Exhale, touch the back of the heart. Lovely. Gaze up to the thumbs. Exhale, folding forward. And then take the hands, clasp them behind the back. Really fold out. Head and neck release. Bend the knees. Take the fingertips to the floor. Stride your right leg back. Drop the knee. From there, you can do your lunge. Now I'm going to take it a little bit deeper. I'm going to bring my hands onto my left thigh. Or you can take your arms in shoulder height. Either or. From there, you're going to bring the hands either side of the left foot. Knees and bottom in alignment. Walk the hands forward. Melting heart position. And then all the way down to your front. Resting the head on the hands. From here, I'm going to engage my lower pubis, knit my ribcage together. I'm going to come into Sphinx. And then from my Sphinx position, I'm going to spin on my right elbow, take a turn to the left, and see if I can pick up my left foot with my right hand. Now, if I can, I'm going to try and bring the left heel towards the sit bone. Aha. Or you can do kicking heels. I'm going to release off. Bring my hands back to the waist. Push back. Tuck the toes under. Downward facing dog. Lift my right leg, three-legged dog. Bend the heel to the buttock. move the knee out to the right, open the hip. And then from there, spin it back, make sure the hips level, draw the knee into the chest. Now remember, you can bring the knee in between the hands, or you can take the right leg out to the left, and then draw that right knee to the right wrist, reaching back into any pigeon variation of choice. Okay, I'm going to take an elbow version of my pigeon. We're not holding on to it for grim life, so don't worry, we're just passing through. So I'm going to hold it for a couple of breaths. We had to do a little bit of it. And then from there, we're going to inhale, we're going to take that right leg back, downward facing dog one more time. We're going to take the right leg back into three-legged dog and see if it's possible to step the right foot through between the hands. Lovely. Okay, now I'm going to take a half turn to the left, which is going to bring me into a wide leg standing position. We're just going to do the 3 drinking birds to rocking horses. 1, heels turn in for rocking horse. Is it going to get easier? I think it is. 2. Last one. From rocking horse, I'm going to turn back to my standing position at the front of the mat. So I'm going to take my back hand forward to my front hand and step in. Good. Okay, we're going to do all that on the left side. So soften the knees, chin to the chest. Take those fingertips up to the sky. Touch the back of the hand. Inhale, gaze up at the thumbs. Exhale, transition to a forward fold, clasping the hands behind the back. Inhale, soften the knees, fingertips to the floor, step the left leg back. Now remember, you can do any variation. You can take the arms to the side, or you can press the hands into that right thigh, lift the top chest, but don't pull this knee back. Keep the knee moving forward over the ankle. Smashing. Good. From there, bring the hands either side of the foot, step back into downward facing dog. And then because we left it out, we'll come back to cat. Thought was doing too well. In fact, no, we won't. We'll go dog. We'll do 8-point position. So plank, and then drop the knees. Now, can you keep the belly lifted? Keep the bottom in the air, but bring the chest and the chin down. If it's not possible, go take it back to melting heart. From there, extend the legs out. Bring the hands to rest underneath the forehead. Take yourself up into Sphinx using the core, and either staying in Sphinx or bringing the right heel to the buttock, turning on the left elbow and reaching for the right foot. Lovely. From there, release out. Bring the hands back to the waist, pop it back into downward facing dog. Smoothly picking that left leg up, heel to buttock, turn the hip out, almost coming into wild thing, but not quite. Bringing the hip back in alignment to bring the knee to the chest, and either take the knee down for first stage pigeon or take the left foot out to the right. From there, move that left knee towards the left wrist. Take the right leg back, or any variation of anything else you're able to do. We're not just focusing on pigeon this session. We will do a session when we are. But I just want you to really be moving into those hips. So a couple of breaths there. Feel that lovely stretch through the hip. Try and flex the left foot. And then from there, ease yourself back out to three-legged dog. And then from there, stride in that left foot through between the hands. And then step it in, pull forward, bend the knees, and do a step out into wide leg. So last little bit of the jigsaw. 3 drinking birds with parallel feet to rocking horses. Go on, see if you can get any lower. 2. 3. Use those outer spirals. Now, depending on your knees, you might want to finish up with a little malasana. So you can walk the feet in a little bit, press the knees into the elbows, squat down, or stay with horse. Good. Okay, from there, wherever you are, back to horsey, lift up. Okay, we're going to end up back on the floor. So I'm stepping back into standing, giving my legs a little shake out. Now, just wanted to finish by just doing those little moves again that we did at the start, just to see if it feels any different in the hips. So, we started on the left, didn't we? So come onto your left side. So the first one with the brick between the knees. Make sure the head, bottom and shoulders are in alignment. Have the feet lifted so the feet are parallel. Gap underneath the waist, and then just look at that. How's that feeling second time around? Sorry, I'm going to have to alter my camera because it's going a bit hazy. So do a few. You don't have to do as many. I just want you to notice how different it feels. Okay, remember the second one. Bottom leg stays where it is. Brick comes out. Top leg, top foot is on the floor. Keep the gap underneath the waist. You can either rest the head on the hands or you can come onto the elbow. I'm going to come onto the elbow this time. I'm going to bring my left foot in line with my left knee, and I'm going to lift and lower the lower part of the leg, but keep the knee on the floor. I wonder how that's feeling for you guys. Good. Just a couple. Okay, from there, what I'm going to get you to do, if possible, is to bring your legs together in this mermaid-like position. Without using the hands, swing the legs around. And then ease yourself down onto your right side. So same thing, first one is the brick. Legs at 90 degrees. Gap underneath the waist. I'm just going to change my camera. It tries to find me. So remember, you're just lifting and lowering that top leg, just to see if it feels any different. Hopefully you're going, yeah, it's much easier, Jules. I've got much more range of movement. Okay, after a few times of doing that, change to the external hip rotation, either resting the head in the crook of the elbow or bringing the elbow to the floor. And then this time it's the lift and lower of the bottom leg. Okay, I know where my blockages are, but they're slightly more released after that. Now this time, guys, I'm getting to try this out on you. It's normally the afternoon class that, or the morning class, I'm sorry, that I try this stuff out on. So, again, can you bring yourself to center? This time, move your legs out. Give your legs a little wiggle wobble. And then put your warm clothes on. So I look forward to hearing your feedback in all its forms. So perhaps as you ease yourself back to the floor, again, whatever position you feel is working for you, maybe just begin in a little bit of semi-supine. And you might find initially that the waist is a bit reluctant to go down. And again, what I'd say, excuse me, this is a really good chance of learning that if this happens, you're not going to force the waist down, you're just creating the space for the waist to move into. So if that feels a real issue, remember you can always pop your feet on the brake. Every practice brings about something different within your body. Now, just like last week, I'm not going to guarantee by any means that this will make Shavasana more accessible, but it's always worth an investigation. And always be prepared. If it doesn't feel right, if there's any pain or discomfort in the lower back, well, I suppose you could do a bit of discomfort, but if there's any pain in the lower back that makes you think that you are unable to maintain that position, please take semi-supine or stack cushions, bolsters or blankets underneath your knees. As we bring ourselves to this quietening part of the class, that's just as the dogs start barking, you say no, it's going to be quiet. Soften the face, soften the eyes. Just monitor how the body feels. And they feel there's real sensations in the hips. There's real changes in there. There's activity in there. There's movement. There's release. in a word, I tend to call it buoyancy. So perhaps you feel that buoyancy. So I'm just going to read you a little bit of inspiration for the practice tonight. Hip mobility is a priority in the human body. Hips are connected to many powerful muscles, including the quads, glutes, and hamstrings. Unfortunately, as part of everyday 21st century living, these muscles can often become imbalanced. For example, the glutes become weak compared to the quads, and this can pull your hips out of alignment, putting stress on the surrounding musculature. Unfortunately, this inevitable muscular imbalance and the sheer complexity of demands we place on our hips leave a lot of possibility for lack of strength and flexibility to develop. This can often cause discomfort, stiffness, and in some cases, persistent pain. If you move too little, maintain the same position for long periods of time, or repeat identical movement patterns over and over, your body adapts to make you as efficient as possible at that set of movement and posture. Unfortunately, this results in you being inefficient at all the rest of the moves. So some of the practice that we did in our physical practice warm-up is about exploring our natural human mobility that we're born with. Trying to balance out areas of imbalance to enable us to be very mobilized in our hips. Now, of course, this will spiritually stimulate many of the lower chakras. So you might find that as you're relaxing, that you feel or are faced with the colours red, orange, even yellow to a degree. As we take our final few deep breaths. This lovely releasing, relaxation. I'm just going to get you, if you haven't already, to reach the body into a full extensive stretch. So stretching up with the arms overhead, out with the legs. And then from there, taking the arms out to the side, down beside the hips, and then one at a time, sliding the heels to the sit bones. So you're in semi-supine. And then drawing the legs to the chest, one at a time. From there, clasping the hands around the fronts of the shins. Perhaps having a little rock from side to side, or placing the fingertips on the knees and drawing circles in the air with the knees. And then in the opposite direction. There. Lovely little roll over onto your right side. Into the fetal position. And then from there, pressing with that left hand to ease yourself up into sitting. So as we always do, as we finish up our practice this evening, we're just going to gather all that lovely energy around us and sealing the practice into the third eye, to the lips and the throat, and to the heart. Well done. Lovely to see you. Let me stop my little recording here.